I am going to discuss about biasing a PN junction. Now, you take a PN junction like this. This is a P type and this is the N side, and here there is a depletion region. And simply, if you have a PN junction, there will not be any conductivity. So to have a conductivity, we have to apply a potential difference. Now the process of connecting the cell or applying a potential difference across the PN junction, that is called biasing. Now there are two ways of biasing a PN junction. One is positive of the battery or higher potential is connected to P side, and negative potential or negative side of the battery is connected to the N side of a PN junction. Then it is called forward bias. That is, positive of the cell is connected to P and negative is connected to N side. It is called as forward bias. Now you reverse this. Let us say now here, instead of this, you connect the negative of a cell to P side and positive of the cell is connected to N side. Then it is called reverse bias. Now here in reverse bias, positive is connected to N side and negative is connected to P side. See, but if you have a conductor, if you interchange the polarities of the battery, that doesn't matter. Only the direction of current will change. But in this case, if you change the polarity of the battery, the current itself is changed. That is, in forward bias and reverse bias, the current will be entirely different. That is why there are two ways of biasing a diode, or that is why we discuss about the two ways of biasing a PN junction. This is the structure of a PN junction, where it consists of P-type and N-type semiconductors, and there is a depletion region which consists of only ions. Now, I have explained in brief about the formation of the depletion region in my previous lecture, and I have given the link of that in the description of this video, so you can refer that for the formation of the depletion region. Across the depletion region, there will be a barrier potential. For silicon it is 0.7 volt and for germanium it is 0.3 volt, and there will be a potential gradient because of the accumulation of ions in the depletion region. If you encapsulate this PN junction in an insulator and two leads are taken for the external connection, then it becomes a component that is called a PN diode. So this is a PN diode. So the PN diode and the PN junction are one and the same. Only the difference is here, PN junction is only for the theory and PN diode is nothing but a practical component. Now what are the explanations for a PN junction is applicable for a PN diode also? So like how I apply a forward bias for a PN junction, I can apply a forward bias for a PN junction diode also. Since diode is a practical element or component, I will discuss the biasing of the PN junction and diode together because those are one and the same. Now we see the forward biased PN junction. So this is forward biased PN junction. Now what do you mean by forward bias? The higher potential is connected to P side and lower potential is connected to N side of the PN junction or a diode. See, this is the symbol of a diode. This is P side and this is N side, and this is also called as sometimes anode and this sometimes called as cathode. Anyway, when you connect the battery like this, with the higher potential is connected to P side and lower potential is connected to N side, it becomes a forward biased PN diode or a PN junction. So when you forward bias a PN junction, see here, this is the negative of the battery which repel the electrons towards the junction. That is, this battery pushes the electrons toward the junction, and this positive of the battery pushes the holes towards the junction, because this is negative and these are the electrons. So like charges repel. So this charges will come this side and these charges will come this side, due to which the depletion region width will decrease. So when the depletion region width decreases, let us say the depletion region width becomes this much. So this comes here, this comes here. What happens to the potential barrier now, or the height of the barrier? So height of the barrier will be only till here, this much. Now how much is this height of the barrier? To understand this, see, you know already the barrier potential. If I take silicon, it is 0.7 volt. I will apply, let us say, 0.2 volts here. If I apply 0.2 volts here, the electrons will not cross the junction. Why? Because the electrons will go from lower potential to the higher potential. But this here, it is already 0.7 volt here. You are applying a 0.2 volts here. Therefore, the electrons don't have the energy to go from here to here. So those electrons require 0.7 volt, because that is what is barrier potential mean. When you apply 0.2 volt, here this becomes plus, positive. This becomes here minus. This is plus and this is minus, but see the polarity of this. Here this is minus and this is plus. So this voltage and this voltage are opposite polarity wise. This is plus, this is minus, this is minus, this is plus. So what is the effective height of the barrier for the electrons? The height of the barrier for the electron will be, here we apply 0.2 volt, it will be 0.2 volt minus 0.7 volt. Because already these electrons got 0.2 volt. How much voltage is required further for the electrons to go? So that is 0.2 minus 0.7 volt, or 0.7 volt minus 0.2 volt. So the magnitude is 0.5 volt. So 0.5 volt additional voltage is required for the electrons to go to P side or to cross the junction. You still increase this 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, let us say. Now when you apply 0.5 volt here, the electrons require only 0.2 volt additional required. Now when this voltage becomes 0.7 volt, that is, which is equal to this width of the barrier will become 0. That is what the height of the barrier become 0. Because see here, when it is 0.2 volt, the height of the barrier is 0.5 volt. When the applied voltage is 0.5 volt, the height of the barrier is magnitude wise 0.2 volt. So when you apply 0.5 volt, let us say, the barrier required for the electrons will be very less. Some electrons will cross the junction because very few of these electrons have got sufficient energy to cross. Therefore, very small amount of electrons cross the junction. Therefore, very small amount of current flows. As the forward voltage is increased further towards 0.7 volt, that is the barrier potential, the height of the barrier becomes 0 because it is 0.7 minus 0.7 now. The height of the barrier is 0. So all the electrons will cross the junction from N side to P side, and all the holes go from P side to N side. Remember, these electrons are the majority charge carriers in N side and holes are the majority charge carriers in P side. So we can say that the majority charge carriers cross the junction. And where they will go? They will go here, and the electrons go here, here, and finally the electrons are collected by the positive of the battery. Similarly, holes go here, 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 and finally they are collected by the negative of the battery. Now, when the voltage exceeds 0.7 volt, the height of the barrier becomes 0 and all the electrons cross the junction. hence the current increases rapidly. When I apply the voltage beyond 0.7 volt, now what happened? Here this is negative anyway, more than 0.7 volt. So this 0.7 volt now overrides this voltage. Therefore, the voltage here is more negative than the positive. Hence the electrons go. And large amount of electrons cross the junction. Hence the current also increases rapidly. So if I draw the characteristics of voltage and current, how it will be? This is current in milliamperes and this is the voltage, forward voltage. Initially till 0.3, 0.4 or 0.5 volt depending on the diode, the current will be 0, and when the forward voltage is beyond this, the current starts flowing, and once the voltage becomes 0.7 volt, this is with respect to silicon, 0.7 volt, the current increases rapidly. When the current increases rapidly, see what is the voltage across the diode? The voltage across the diode will not change much, then only it will increase rapidly. This is a theoretical explanation for the characteristics. Practically we can get this characteristics by using a circuit. So this is the circuit to draw the VI characteristics of a forward biased diode. See, this is the battery voltage, positive is connected to P side and negative is connected to N side. And the current through the diode is noted down using a milliammeter because the current will be in the order of milliamperes in a forward biased diode. And a voltmeter is taken which measures the voltage across the diode. So you increase the battery voltage here in suitable steps to adjust the current and note down the corresponding voltage across the diode. So this voltage is called as forward voltage, VF in volt. So what you get is you get this type of graph. So when the voltage is lesser, the current will be lesser. As the voltage increases and reaches 0.7 volt, there will be gradual increase in the current. Once the voltage, forward voltage exceeds 0.7 volt, the current increases rapidly, but there is no much increase in the voltage across the diode. So we can calculate the resistance of the diode by taking the slope. Here you have to take the slope in the linear region, not here where the curve is almost having the same slope, constant slope. There the diode is conducting. This, if I write this as delta IF, this is IF and this is delta VF, and we can write or calculate the forward resistance of the diode, that is equal to delta VF divided by delta IF. Resistance is V by I. So the forward resistance is equal to delta VF divided by delta IF. Now how much is this forward resistance? It is observed that the forward resistance will be in terms of ohm, maybe 1 ohm, 2 ohm, up to 10 ohm, not more than that. Therefore, to analyze any diode circuit, in most of the cases, we are assuming the resistance of the diode to be 0. So what do you mean by resistance of the diode is 0? So this is the P side and this is the N side. And the resistance is 0 means it acts as a closed circuit or closed switch. So for the analysis purpose of a forward biased diode, in most of the cases we are using this equivalent circuit. This is forward biased equivalent. This is actually ideal equivalent, not the practical. Practically the resistance is very small, but ideally we assume that the resistance is 0, that is why we close it. Now this voltage, forward voltage at which the current increases rapidly, this is called knee potential. So the knee potential will be equivalent to the barrier potential. Knee potential and barrier potential are not equal. Knee potential is the voltage across the diode, but barrier potential is the potential across the depletion region. So they are not the same. The value will be the same of the barrier potential and the knee potential. Now we discuss about the reverse biased PN junction. Reverse biased PN junction. What do you mean by reverse bias? P side of the diode is connected to the negative of the cell and N side of the diode is connected to the positive of the cell. Then the connection of the PN junction or the diode is called reverse bias. When you apply a reverse bias, this is the positive of the battery. These are the electrons. I am talking about the majority charge carriers. These are the electrons. And here the majority charge carriers are holes. These electrons are attracted by the positive of the battery because unlike charges, and these holes are attracted by these negative of the battery because these are like charges. Therefore, these majority charge carriers, electrons will go like this. These majority charge carriers, holes will go like this. Hence, the width of the depletion region widens. So let us say this is the width of the depletion region now. Now the height of the barrier increases. Now this much is the height of the barrier. As you increase the reverse bias, more and more electrons will be collected by the positive of the battery and more holes are collected by the negative of the battery. So the depletion region widens. Therefore, the majority charge carriers cannot cross the junction. But see the minority charge carriers. Here the minority charge carriers are electrons. Here the minority charge carriers are holes. For them, it is forward bias. Because see here, this is a positive of the battery. These are holes positively charged. This is a negative of the battery. These are electrons which are negatively charged. Now here, as far as the electrons are concerned, these electrons are repelled by the negative of the battery. These holes are repelled by the negative of the battery. Therefore, they will cross the junction. But remember, now the voltage required for the charge carriers to cross becomes more. Why? Because the height of the barrier is now more. So no majority charge carriers cross, only minority charge carriers cross the junction. How many minority charge carriers are there? Very few, very less in number. That is why the current also will be very less. Now this is the circuit to draw the VI characteristics of a reverse bias diode. See the negative of the battery which is connected to N side and positive of the battery is connected to P side. And this is a voltmeter which measures the voltage across the diode. Now here, instead of a milliammeter, a microammeter is used. In the forward bias, we used a milliammeter because the current will be quite larger. But here, the current will be lesser because only very few minority charge carriers are there and the current due to them is less. Why the current due to them is less? You know, I is equal to NAEVD. Same expression is applicable for the forward bias also. But now here N is very less. Therefore, current due to minority charge carriers is less and it will be in the order of microamperes. So what are the characteristics? So characteristics will be drawn here in the third quadrant because voltage is negative now. This is VR and current also will be in the other direction. This is therefore IR. IR will be in the order of microamperes. VR will be in the order of volt. Now you apply larger voltage now in the range of 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt like that. When you apply 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, more and more minority charge carriers gradually cross the junction. Therefore, current also will increase. Once a particular reverse voltage is reached, all the minority charge carriers will cross the junction. Further, if I increase the reverse voltage, no more minority charge carriers will cross the junction. Therefore, current also cannot increase, current will be stabilized. And this current is called reverse saturation current. What do you mean by reverse saturation current? This is the current flowing through the diode when it is reverse biased due to the minority charge carriers. In the forward bias, majority charge carriers give the current, but in reverse bias, minority charge carriers give the current. Now, how long I increase this reverse voltage? When you increase the reverse voltage, these electrons will move faster toward the positive of the battery. Similarly, holes also will move faster, negative of the battery. Due to this, the electrons collide with the atoms, semiconductor atoms, impurity atoms. See here, remember here, not only the electrons and holes are there. This is only for the sake of explanation I have written. But actually here in the N region as well as P region, there are semiconductor atoms, there are impurity atoms, both here and here. So that is not represented. So when the electrons move faster, these electrons collide with the atoms. When they collide with the atoms, some electrons are released from the atom. Let us say one electron, this electron hit one atom, release one electron. I consider only one electron here. So now altogether how many electrons are there? 2. These 2 electrons move in this direction. These 2 electrons now are attracted by the positive of the battery. When these go, these 2 hit 2 more silicon atoms. Let us say one collision will give 1 electron. So how many total? 4. These 4 electrons will collide with 4 semiconductor or impurity atom, give rise to 4 more electrons. So totally 8. These 8 electrons go and hit 8 more semiconductor or impurity atom. The same thing happens here also. More holes are created. Along with these holes, electrons also will be created, because when one electron is released, one hole is generated. So here also hole will be generated. Many electrons and holes are generated. Here also many electrons and holes are generated. So here also there will be many number of holes generated. Now these electrons will go like this. These holes will go like this. Those are nothing but the majority charge carriers. Whatever the minority charge carriers, they cannot be collected by the positive and negative of the battery. They have to cross the junction. So large number of holes will cross the junction from N side to P side, and large number of electrons will cross the junction from P side to N side. Due to this, the conductivity increases all of a sudden and the diode goes to breakdown. So this is the conductivity increases, and this is called avalanche breakdown. When avalanche breakdown is attained, the crystal structure of the semiconductor breaks and the diode is spoiled. So you have to take care of one thing. When you operate the diode in reverse bias, you have to operate the diode such a way that the reverse voltage should not exceed the avalanche breakdown voltage. So this is the breakdown voltage. So when you operate the diode, you have to operate in this region. Now take this region. What is the current? Current will be in the order of microampere, which is very less. So what is the current flowing through the diode? The current flowing through the diode is very less. Therefore, this is the P side and N side. The current can be approximated to 0. Now, when the current is 0, we say that no current flows through the diode and the diode is said to be open circuit. So this is the equivalent circuit in reverse bias. So a reverse bias diode can be replaced by a open circuit. But a forward bias diode, we have seen it can be replaced by a closed switch or on switch. So the total characteristics of a semiconductor diode will be like this. In the first quadrant, forward voltage, here forward current, this will be in the order of in the terms of milliampere, this will be in terms of volt, and it will be somewhat like this. And this is the knee potential, or it is also called as cut-in voltage. It is also called as cut-in voltage. For silicon 0.7 volt, for germanium it is 0.3 volt. And in the reverse bias, it will be like this. So this is reverse voltage, and this is reverse current in the terms of microampere, and this is the reverse breakdown voltage.